system of a car is. Trevor, can you hear me loud and clear? If you're having issues, just send a message or comment with a
Yes, I
message. I have my technical team here. They are going to sort it out. So, what are the main types of fuels that we use in our cars?
All right. The main type of fuel that we use in our cars currently is the petrol fuel or gasoline, if you're speaking in American English.
Yes.
Then we have diesel, mostly used by commercial vehicles,
Okay.
and some vehicles actually do also have diesel because of its fuel saving properties. And of course, we have gas oil. Gas is very popular in the 80s and 90s. If you also remember, there's a mixture of petrol and alcohol. It used to be 85% petrol and 15% of the cane spirit or ethanol. So it was ethanol. It was a cheaper way of introducing available to the masses.
Okay.
And then now we also have hydrogen, which is very common. We have LPG, which is as gasoline, and then if you go extreme, then you have electricity, which is basically by bulb and water. So to summarize, we have petrol, we have diesel, we have hydrogen, and then we have gas.
Okay. All right. Okay. But
to run.
Yes, but in these recently, you see that there's a lot of new development when it comes to fuels, even concerning the fuels that we are used to. There are a whole lot of things that people talk about when it has to do with gasoline, or what we call petrol down here, or and diesel. What are some of these developments?
Yeah. So one of the biggest changes that many engineers in Europe or Japan or the US is to literally have a fuel efficient vehicle that meets emission cycle regulation that has been instituted in the various countries. Now, for example, in Europe, we have the Euro emission control, and we have different levels from Euro 1 to now Euro 6.5, which is the latest one.
Okay.
Japan, same thing. In the US, you also have low emission vehicle treaties that ensure that all vehicles that are coming also built into the US meet those regulations. So all the regulations have literally made and come up with very unique solutions for fuel. Now I'll dive straight into common rail fuel injection. Now, back in the day before we go into common rail, we used to have carburetors.
Okay.
All right. Basically, the fuel system that allowed fuel and gas for the combustion chamber.
Okay.
So one of the downsides of having you do not have precise fuel injection, meaning the car could either smoke or burn rich or burn lean, but then that would actually make the car smoke if it is burning too lean, or if it is too rich, then there's a lot of fuel to the effect of your consumption. Okay, that totally affects the amount. So in the 80s, actually late 70s towards the 80s, engineers from Robert Bosch, the German company, began testing fuel injection. This is the mechanical fuel injection, where you have a whole system that is pressurized and delivers precise amount of fuel into the engine. And we had also people in the US that get on the system. But the agreed framework was done by Bosch that came up with the template of what fuel injection is. In the 80s, the Japanese took the game higher and introduced electronic fuel injection, where the vehicle had a small body that measures and ensures that the fuel that gets in is that also gets into the engine. So the talk of town, if you can ever car with EFI, the difference was very, very clear. The Japanese technology quite a lot with technology like Denso, which was partly owned by Toyota and still is actually owned by Toyota, spreading the whole EFI message around. In Europe, where diesel took much more, diesel engine was hardly developed up to the early 90s. So they began testing individual pumps for each combustion chamber, pump reduced and book that. Then in the 2000s, when they took the template of EFI and the designation, it worked. So Bosch began testing EFI, which we normally call common rail, and see the fuel pressure had to be much higher because the density of diesel is higher, is much compared to petrol.
Okay.
So the the fuel ensure that it stays effectively within the combustion chamber was also that new generation of fuel injection common rail.
Awesome information from Big Boy Trev all the way from Kenya. Yes, we're having issues with the line, so if you can't hear him, we're hoping and praying that the network will sustain our call. Big Boy Trev, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
I can get you.
All right. So we lost you a little bit at the end, but let's just jump straight into our next question. Why are modern cars so sensitive to fuel? I mean, these days a lot of people, when you talk about buying some of the latest cars with turbo diesel engines or turbo petrol engines, people start saying, Charlie, that is going to give you a lot of trouble, so get a car that is non-turbo, or get this particular car, or get that particular car, because that one is maybe Euro 3 compliant, Euro 4 compliant. They throw all these terms around. Why are modern cars so sensitive to fuel or quality of fuel?
Yes, these modern cars are very sensitive because they have been tuned to accept a certain type of fuel. All right. So the older you could literally put any type of fuel. If you remember, I don't know, the standard they used to have regular and super petrol. Regular back in the day is the lowest quality of petrol. It used to be measured as number, and the number was 87. So when that fuel could literally you could use it in any car. If you got a carburetor, the older generation of cars could easily take it in without failing. However, when the introduction of then one of the parameters that the ECU, the brain of the car, had to put was how can a vehicle accept the fuel that it has been designed with. So they put a number of sensors in the car, and immediately if your fuel is of a lower quality or adulterated, then the power performance, the engine will sense that it's not the right kind of fuel. It will downgrade the performance, and it will lose power by 33%. And that's the standard across, even on diesels as well. So due to emission regulations, most of these cars, when they come to Africa, they're still tuned to use the high quality fuel. And now, when we come in and put in our low quality fuel, they will tend to slow down and get into limp home mode, which basically lower fuel quality of the continent. Again, also just is that vehicles, apart from having the different designations of quality of fuel, apart from emissions, also, because they have this new technology like turbocharging, they work under high pressure, require the right fuel to work efficiently. So if low fuel is introduced, then the vehicle senses that the vehicle is not running in optimal condition, downgrade the performance and power of the car.
Okay. So what are some of the issues that our modern cars suffer from when they are introduced to poor quality fuel?
All right. Number one, the biggest challenge, and I think both on petrol and diesel, is the clogging of the injectors and the fuel line and the fuel pump. Now, just to make your audience understand, the quality of fuel is measured by the amount of sulfur that's in it. Sulfur is a compound that's found naturally and organically. However, at high temperature, it crystallizes just like salt, and it will block the calories and all that provide. So if you have high or low quality
Mm-hmm.
in Africa, and you measure this by parts per matter. So we normally have an average of 0.5 parts
Okay.
per matter of sulfur per
Mm-hmm.
100 millimeter
Okay.
of fuel. Now, the cars in Europe and in Japan and in the US are designed to take 0.05, so 10 times less amount of sulfur.
Okay.
All right. So even the injector as a whole has been designed to only deliver fuel that is of that very fine quality. So if
Mm-hmm.
you put the low quality fuel into it, what happens? It clogs the system, and then because you use it on high temperature
Mm-hmm.
and different atmospheric conditions, the sulfur in the system eventually, coagulates and solidifies and crystallizes, blocks the delivery of the fuel. Then
Okay.
you feel the car struggling with high fuel consumption, and also you start emitting smoke,
Oh.
which is affecting the environment.
Okay. 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 Do diesel and petrol cars all suffer the same, symptoms when they are introduced to poor fuel?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes, they do. Although varying degree, so diesel is much higher.
Mm.
Diesel called compression ignition,
Mm-hmm.
whereby the diesel at high temperature pressure ignites by itself.
Okay.
All right. And then one of the things that the Japanese have done was introduce the diesel particulate filter to
Mm-hmm.
reduce the amount of nitrous oxide and carbon and other sulfides that are being emitted from the combustion.
Okay. 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 Okay.
It also clocks the DPF. The
Okay.
DPF is like the primary filter that filters out all those oxides,
Mm.
clogging of the system itself, the fuel system, and the exhaust system
Mm.
can be efficient and very sluggish.
Okay, okay, okay. What should a car owner, have in mind when, or should someone who has gone in for any of these modern cars that require very high quality standard of fuel? What should they do, to mitigate or reduce, the incidence of all these, symptoms that you have just mentioned to us?
Uh, Innovation is the name of the group that those Africans have come around to have some.
Can you
One
repeat
of the
that?
first things is you the people from agri import. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
agri import, for example,
Mm-hmm.
is number one, setting of activity to improve the quality of the fuel that you use. So, for example, if you're there are quite a number in your market, in our market as well. So, you have the injector and fuel line cleaner, which you actually put in your gas tank.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're just about to fill in the tank, you top it up maybe up to half, then pour in the additive, then to 100%, then you run with the car, and the system will mix with the fuel and get into those cycles and clean all the sulfur deposits.
Okay.
It's important. When you burn the car first time, it's very important to do that, especially with the grain. Number two also is to mark your engine. If you want to mark your engine, you're telling the name of the car to activate so that you have. Alright?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you're buying a Land Rover Discovery from the UK,
Yeah.
and it comes to Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
and it's used to a certain quality level, ppm of sulfur, the brain of the car has programmed to take in the fuel. Anything lower, it will, the car will home mode. So you take it to that are able to mark the lower quality. So what does it do basically? The vehicle can run efficiently with the fuel
Mm-hmm.
that you have. And of course, it also helps in with everything happens with a ratio of stoichiometric equation. So basically, the ratio between air and fuel. So if
Okay.
you map the car, it also maps the same thing and prevents the clogging of the. Yes, the diesel particulate filter.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the petrol vehicles, it blocks the clogging of the lambda
Mm. Okay.
because it goes both ways. You can pick number one, you can put a fuel additive.
Okay. Okay. If you just joined us, you are tuned into Ryde Talk live right here on the Ryde channel, live on Facebook, live on TikTok, and live on YouTube. And we are talking all cars and motorcycles on this show. Today, we are talking about the quality of fuels and your car. And we have all the way from Kenya, Trevor Lamenya, also known as Big Boy Trev of CBB TV. He's an auto journalist and an auto content creator. Myself, together with Trevor, we've had some great times all around the world, looking into cars, and we've gathered a lot of information along the way, and we want to share that information with you. Like I always say, if you are armed with good quality motoring information, you can enjoy your motoring. And we are talking about quality fuels, and as Trevor just said, if your quality of fuel is low, you need additives. Okay, and God being so good, today's show is powered by JLM Additives. Now their slogan is "We understand cars." We understand cars. They are into additives and lubricants, and yes, they are supporting this show, and we are very, very happy to have them on board. So if you are having any modern car, and you don't have, or you don't trust the quality of fuel that you buy on the market, arm yourself with some of these additives. Very, very wonderful products. I'm going to be showing you a few of their products very, very soon, but let us jump back into the discussion. We are talking about cars and quality fuel. Why do you need to ensure that you buy high quality fuels? Okay, that is all we are all about, and we have on the line all the way from Kenya, Big Boy Trev, also known as Trevor Lamenya of CBB TV. Right after this show, make sure you go and follow him on all the social media platforms, especially his YouTube channel, CBB TV, and just take a watch all the things he's been up to all the way in Kenya and all around the world. Some of the things we've done together, we have a few lives that we've done right on this channel. You can also watch those as well. Trevor, are you still on the line?
I am still here.
Okay, all right. So we are talking about you just reiterated the importance and the usage of fuel additives. Now the question I'm going to ask is that if somebody is going into fuel additives, okay, what are the things that that person is supposed to look out for?
For answer to that, number one, once you understand your car, most additives are divided in.
Yes, what additives should one
Right?
Yes.
And most of them work, yes. So they all work in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So have purchased a high performance vehicle, for that matter. If you're looking for a fuel additive that will of the vehicle, there are certain additives for that. So every additive has its objective.
Okay.
There are those that work rate of turn number, meaning it will upgrade the quality of fuel from the low quality that is available in the market and the threshold of the engine.
Okay.
Improve the performance of the car to ensure that it is designed performance parameters. All right.
Yes.
So the of 10 number are there. They are actives that are used to clean the fuel system. All right. So you have to read to ensure that number.
Okay. Is Trevor?
To this. Are you doing general? Yes.
Is the octane number the same as the RON?
Yes.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
it's called a rate octane number.
Okay.
Yes, so
Mm-hmm.
95 from 110, which
Mm-hmm.
is gas, aviation gasoline,
Mm-hmm.
to the lowest, which is 87. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So depending on where the scale is, most of the countries are running between around 91 to around 98. So
Okay.
98 is the highest grade
Okay.
of petrol. Diesel is all about the sulfur content as well. So
Mm-hmm.
the very, very fine sulfur, low but means 6.5, then that's a low. So you can additives to ensure that your car runs to that level.
Mm-hmm.
It also cleans the system.
Okay. 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 Awesome. Awesome. Awesome information. Awesome information from Big Boy Trev. Now, if we are having a bit of an issue with his line, it's because he's coming all the way from Kenya, and they are having some very, very torrential weather as a result of the El Nino weather that we've been experiencing recently. I mean, Ghana, we've not been spared. We've had our own share. Yes, but yeah, we still have to go on giving out good quality information so that your motoring will be enhanced. Yes, Trevor. Yes, we are talking about what you should look out for when you are going into additives. Are there some points of note? Something that you should watch out for that's an absolute no-no when it comes to additives.
Number one, you must buy an additive that is coming from a reputable brand.
A reputable brand.
Not everybody is selling high quality.
So, which means
very important to identify that. Go ahead.
Which means that you have to do your research.
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Which means
do your research. It's very important.
Yes, go ahead.
But to do your research in terms of the high quality fuel additive, one would be purchasing the right additive for the specific need. Like I mentioned earlier, are you looking at improving performance? Are you clean? Are you looking at preventing oxidation of the system inside? So you have to look and research. So if you get your advice from your local mechanic or just for your checking, important to identify what you need to do.
Okay.
Also, check the fuel additive meets or conforms to the manufacturer specifications. Because some of them you want to exceed a certain amount or use it in a wrong way that could impact the fuel delivery of your vehicle.
Awesome information from Big Boy Trev. Yes,
you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, and using these additives, the highly very, very important liquids that use sparingly or when needed. You cannot continue using fuel additives on and on and on again. It might tamper or hamper the long run.
Okay. Are you done, Big Boy Trev?
Yes.
Okay. So you talked about the run number. Yes. So if you have a car, you have to make sure you read the user manual and acquaint yourself with what kind of run number that of fuel that you need. If the car needs a very high quality fuel, denoted by the run number, then you have to make sure that you go and buy that. I mean, in Ghana, usually when you go to the fuel station, you have fuel in two, flavors. What we call the regular fuel, which, I mean, these days, I mean, it's the quality is quite high, but it's not the highest you can get. Probably around I think for most fuel stations around 95. Then you can get what different brands call them different names. The high octane, which is usually in excess of it's about around 98. So some of them call theirs, I think Total calls theirs Effimax. Some call theirs, how do you call it? Some calls theirs V Power. Yes, and all manner of names.
Yes.
Those are just and so when they have the run number, then there's some fuel. Companies also add some level of additives, right?
Yes.
Okay. So even before you go,
you add a bit of additives as well.
Go ahead.
Yes. It's a practice that many fuel distributors use as well by adding additives onto it. So if you find, like for example, Total Exilium, they'll have an additive to improve the combustion quality and to run number, and same with the diesel. But just maybe I didn't come up clearly in terms of what rate of 10 number means, and to the audience, I'm sure what RON means. Basically, what RON means is it measures the amount of the fuel resistance to knocking and pinging. Basically, it value that is given to fuel that prevents or tells you combustible it is. So sometimes it's something called premature combustion, and that affects the older vehicles and the older and the lower quality of fuel. So the rate at which the fuel can burn with self-combusting is what now the rating organization gives the number as RON. So like you said, it runs from as low as 85, 87 to as high as 88 in other markets, 101. Eddie, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Eddie, if you can hear me, I'm still here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm still here.
Yes. What other points of note can you tell us concerning quality of fuel?
Yes, quality of fuel, depending on your country, always try and fuel at reputable petrol stations.
Good.
I know because the majority of these big distributor companies like Shell and Total have standards at which they store their fuel.
Good.
One of the biggest issues that even affects Kenya is the contamination of fuel.
Contamination.
Water getting into the tanks, yes, and can literally damage your fuel system. So if you just go to a roadside petrol station that has no name, that you may get contaminated fuel because of how they handle the fuel, and of course you have some unscrupulous businessmen who add kerosene to petrol and diesel to increase the volume and make more money. Yes, that has been a problem in Kenya for a long time until when the Fuel Regulation Authority came out with standards at which so that anybody who's selling fuel has to adhere to the standards, and they do random checks to ensure that the fuel that you give to the consumers is of the highest quality possible.
Okay.
Because contaminants not contaminated, and even at a point they banned sale of kerosene in Kenya.
Okay. Wow.
Kerosene as an additive system volume of fuel. So you have to be careful. In any part of the world you are, if it's a reputable brand, be it a Shell, be it a Total, be it Rubis or Engine, go there, get your car at the right time. Also again, always ensure that you don't run on fuel up to level E or enough. We call it empty. Always make sure you run minimum you should go in terms of the tank is quarter.
Okay.
Fuel also lubricates the pump.
Okay.
To get hot. All right. So when the fuel runs low, it means the pump will overheat and will begin to fail. So
Okay.
always try and make sure that you have up to quarter tank to ensure that the fuel pump is based in the petrol, it cools it down as well, and it runs efficiently. And also the pressure as well. You might have sometimes, if you're on very low level or reserve, you'll find bubbles of air getting into the system and affecting the combustion of the car.
Okay. Wow. It's high quality information. You can only get this information on Ryde Talk Live, where we bring people like Big Boy Trev who have a lot of information about motoring to educate you. Big Boy Trev, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Trevor. Some people say that, when you want to fill your tank, there's a time of the day that is ideal. What can you say about that?
It's actually very true. The best time to fuel the car is early in the morning before dawn. And the simple reason is this. Fuel expands with temperature.
Okay.
All right? So during when it expands, the density, all right? Meaning that you will not buy from the pump. So if you're paying, say, 100 in the fuel tank, you probably get about 80 during the day. The value you get, because you're losing it evaporates at high temperature. All right. But in the morning when it is 5 o'clock, the fuel has cooled down, the density goes back to normal, and you get slightly more fuel.
Okay.
As compared to if you to fuel tank. So it makes sense for you to do that in the morning.
Okay. So if you want to buy fuel, the best time to buy in the mornings when the weather is cool, and in the evenings when the weather is cool, because the fuel is denser, so you get more fuel for your money. You can only get these tips and tricks only on the Ryde channel. Let me just go on to some of the comments that I'm getting on Facebook. And we have Thomasin. Thomasin is watching this live all the way from Sogakope, and he says, I'm listening live, and I want to ask, how can one know whether fuel is good or not good? And Big Boy Trev, has said a few things. I'm sure he will say a few more things for you. Yes, that's Thomasin. We have Kojo Opon Kuntu all the way from New Jersey in the USA. He says, good show. My brother Konabak Kwekusichi says, great show. Kofi Obobi Jeremy, you can check his TikTok out, and he's all about the arts and music. He says, great info, worth knowing and sharing. Yes, he says, I never realized there's a car manual, because we always buy cars used, right? Yes, if you put a car used, chances are that there's no user manual in the car. But I can assure you, if you go online, search with your the model and the make of your car, and also the year, you will find the manual. I make it a point to always look for the manual of a car. I know a lot of people, even when they buy brand new cars, they never go through the user manual. There are certain features on the car you can never know about them. There was one time I was hosting a radio show, and I talked about the buttons that you find in a car, and the AC recirculation button. That's the button with it has an arrow that goes round, usually as part of the HVAC or the AC buttons. And after the show, a friend of mine, who I know has been driving for many years, called me and said, Charlie, I've always seen that button, but I never knew that is what it was for. Yes, so reading your manual is really important. And yes, you are still watching the Ryde Talk Live right here on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you have a question, just put it in the comment section, or our WhatsApp line. You can just send us that message. Hey, lots and lots of messages on our console Just a moment. Yes, Kofi again says that's true. There are things you will never know without the manual. Yes, very interactive show. Make sure your voice is also being heard. So comment with your question, and we'll read. And if it's a question, Big Boy Trev is here all the way from Kenya. Yes, anytime I travel around Kenya, I meet Kenyans. I'm like, wow, these people are so much like Ghanaians. When I hear about all the things that are happening in Kenya, and I compare it to that, I say, these people live like on the eastern part of the world. Kenya is like our closest brethren. People Trump, yes. So we are talking about fuel quality. Modern cars, you need to make sure that but why have they made it so complicated? In the olden days, you just buy your car, and even you can just distill even alcohol and put it in your car and it will run. But these days they've made it so difficult. Why are all these stringent fuel technologies and all that? Why, Big Boy Trev? Why?
The main reason is
emissions.
That is the main culprit of emissions. Emission control is a big issue in the developed world, and all the manufacturers came together. There's something called the Society of Automotive Engineers, and came up with standards that conform to the set laws and policies of the European Union, the United States, Japan, and also developed cars. That's the main reason why they do it. And making vehicles efficient, not only from an emission point of view, but a vehicle that breaks down quite often means it will break down to be discarded. So you have a matter of disposing metal, disposing lead batteries, disposing some of the non-recyclable parts. So also that plays a big role. Mercedes are heading towards zero. They're actually at 100% recyclable for every single part of.
Wow.
Efficiency, number one, emissions, and of course protecting the environment.
Awesome. Emissions, number one. So just note it. If your car is not running well, the fumes of your car is releasing particles that are destroying the environment. I mean, mid this year we had a spell in Accra where there was a huge haze, something we've never experienced in this country and in this city for that matter, and it was very, very worrying. And these are the things that cause some of these things. So let us beware. Let us not say, okay, I want something cheap, so let me go in and just adulterate my fuel and just put in my car and run it. If the car is ready to take it, why not? Yes, you will run your car all right. And in Accra is very, very bad, because sometimes when you see these diesel public transport buses, my goodness, sometimes the soot that comes from the exhaust pipe is terrible. It's terrible. And it's all because sometimes they take out the catalytic converters, the DPFs. Let's talk a little bit about the catalytic converter and the DPF.
All right. The catalytic converter is fitted to petrol powered vehicles because its main work is basically to filter out the main carbon, reducing some of the nitrous oxide and carbon oxides that are emitted from combustion. And for the diesel version, you have the DPF, which is a honeycomb structure that is well fitted to filter out sulfur and reduce the nitrous and sulfur oxides. Because remember, diesel and petrol, they all are organic substances. If you burn an organic substance, the output is carbon, and of course you have the different nitrous oxides because of the additives that harm the environment. Now the catalytic converter is a very prized possession in Africa. As you are aware, most cars that are being imported, thieves are finding ways of stealing. So if you park your car in a dark place in an arch, somebody would come and cut it off and go sell the catalytic converter, and then it costs a lot of money because the material that's in the catalytic converter is precious rhodium, is platinum that is used to make the catalytic converter.
Okay.
It's a hot cake here in Kenya and in other countries.
Wow.
If you pack your car badly, then they go and sell it, and then your car makes some very bad noises, and the check engine light will come on, and that will be the beginning of your problem.
Yes.
For diesel, DPF is more of a honeycomb structure, not as complex as the one on the catalytic converter.
Okay.
But when it clogs, it literally makes the car, staff performance. So in Kenya, if your car has been clogged because of the sulfur deposit, there's something called manual regeneration, which is basically blasting hot air through the honeycomb to clear off the sulfur deposit. And then your car is good to go for another 2, 3, 4 years without any issue. Okay. So there are also solutions to that.
Okay, so talking about the DPF, I know most modern cars equipped with the DPF, there's a particular process that the car starts, automatically in order to burn, these deposits out using the DPF. How does that work?
So essentially what happens is there's a sensor in the DPF that measures the amount of temperature that is there. All right. So normally it's 600 degrees centigrade. Okay. That's how hot the exhaust runs. All right. So if the temperature exceeds 600, then the DPF begins to regenerate itself. Okay. So it will kick in, and there'll be a blast of air from the exhaust. It's like it's a circular system. It will try and remove the sulfur and will come out. Okay. All right. But not many times does the exhaust temperature reach 600 degrees. You have to run quite a number of kilometers of 100 at a certain speed to achieve that. So companies like Toyota had issues with Fortuner where they were unable to regenerate automatically, so they actually fixed a switch that when you feel the vehicle is sluggish or the DPF fan comes on, you press it and it will regenerate and remove the sulfur from the DPF. So it's an ongoing problem, but I guess again, also depending on the market, if the sulfur is too much, the DPF system of regeneration will struggle. That's why many people have come up with solutions of manual regeneration where they blast hot air in the to clear off the sulfur, and that is a readily available thing.
Okay. Let me just talk about, yes, in Ghana we have GM, additives and lubricants. Okay, so what I have in my hand here, yes, is the what this one is a DPF particulate filter cleaner. DPF particulate filter cleaner. All right. Now, what this product does is that it's a highly effective DPF cleaner. Okay. One thing about DPF, that Big Boy 12 just mentioned, is that if your car is equipped with one, automatically after driving for a while and the car coming to temperature, it burns out these, soot or deposits. But if you are not able to do that, especially if you are driving, if you have a diesel car, Mercedes, you drive from the office, to the house and back, the car sometimes doesn't come to that temperature, to start the regeneration process. So you end up, blocking your DPF. And this product is very, very good. When you add it to your fuel, it helps clean your DPF. It reduces the ash regeneration. It is a unique high performance catalyst and reduces soot emissions and improve mileage and combustion. Now these guys, this is all they do. They do scientific research and come out with products like this. Okay, so this particular one is the DPF cleaner, and I have another one for fuel cars, and this is the emissions reduction treatment. Yes, you can't see the label very well because it's green, and the technology I'm using, for my background, anything that is green, it takes it out, so you can see it says emissions reduction treatment. Now it says use before any emissions tests. In Ghana, who cares about emissions tests? But you should care because it affects your environment, and you should care. So it reduces emissions and particulates increase fuel performance and increase efficiency, and this is a professional formula. Now, what I would say, especially for this product, is that the fuel quality, that we have around is greatly improved. I know you in Kenya, you have Euro 6. We in Ghana, we're still at Euro 4. But I think that largely the quality is pretty good. But when you go to outside the city, where there's not a lot of supervision, that is where the problem is. So I would say that if you are traveling out of the city and you are certainly going to be buying fuel, you need to have one of these in your car, okay? Because that is when you need to bump up the octane level and also remove the contaminant from your fuel. So this is one product you need. And I'm talking about these products before because we've been doing this on YouTube, we've been doing this on TikTok and Facebook, sharing good quality information. And for years, we've not had any companies, supporting us. And for the first time, we have JLM products, supporting us, yes, on this show. And we also need to make sure. So if you treasure this particular show and you want to make sure that we keep bringing you good information, make sure you buy these products. You can just go to JLM Additives and Lubricants. In Ghana, it is distributed and sold by Autolube Ghana. So just go on Instagram and just look for Autolube Ghana and you get all their information and you can read them. They have a workshop in Spintex. Reach them. I'm going to be sharing their number before we sign off the show today, so make sure you watch to the very end so that you can get their phone number. You can go on glm.com, glmlubricants.com, and you can read more about their products and testimonial. glmlubricants.com. This is a company that is based in the Netherlands. All they do is additives, fuel additives, because they know that it can enhance your motoring. Yes, Big Boy Trev, what's new in Kenya, in the world of the automotive? What's new, Big Boy Trev?
Yes, every day you wake up to different sorts of news. The latest thing that we had a few months ago was the green environment conference that was very big in Kenya. The highlight being that the government now is supporting green energy and green vehicles, so there's that trajectory that is slowly picking up as far as green vehicles are concerned. The president was very keen on having the public service vehicles going green.
Also,
in a town like Nairobi or a city like Nairobi, congestion is big and the risk of pollution is high, just like in Accra. So there's a deliberate effort by the government to ensure that now the public service vehicles are now becoming green and very efficient in terms of compliance, and many more things that are coming in the future.
Okay. Awesome development. Yes, in Ghana as well. Yes, we are still lobbying our government to push the EV sector a bit more. Most of our electricity in Ghana is generated from renewable resources. So if we are able to push the EV agenda, then we can also make sure that our motoring is largely from renewable sources. So that's something that we are working on. At the moment, we don't have a lot of release for people who want to drive EV vehicles. In fact, when it comes to taxations, the EVs are regarded as luxury vehicles, which is a shame, a big shame. So if you are connected to the government, we just want to ask you, we are doing some work in that sector, and very soon we're going to be hearing some announcements. But you can see that our brothers in Kenya are doing very, very well, and we should also catch up. Make sure you remove, those taxes on electric vehicles. Why do you say electric vehicles are luxury? Electric vehicles cannot be luxury. In any case, how many people in Ghana are even importing EV vehicles? So in terms of taxes, you are not even making money from that. So why don't you just take the taxes off so that people will be encouraged to import EVs? That gradually we can transition to renewable, motoring in Ghana. Let's do something about this. Yes, some companies are also, recently there was a memorandum of understanding that was signed between Kia Corporation and Rana Motors, which is an automotive dealership, in Ghana, one of the biggest. They have the biggest assembly plant in Ghana, and it is to push EV education. Rana Motors has a school, a training center for technicians or auto techs or mechanics, but there is nobody training in EV technology and hybrid technology. So that is what Kia Corporation is bringing, and they announced they are bringing them an EV6 that they can dismantle, and learn how to repair EV vehicles. They are bringing Kia Sorento hybrid vehicles, and they are bringing a lot of other high tech, efficient, in terms of emissions, technologies to support the training of our mechanics, so that as we push ourselves towards EVs, the mechanics will also be updated with knowledge to be able to support awesome things happening, in Ghana and in Kenya. And I'm happy to hear all these things. If you have any questions, make sure you comment on TikTok, on Facebook, or on YouTube. And I'll just ask my technical producer, Benjamin. Do you have any comments on I can see the comments on Facebook. Okay, so Kofi is asking, Jeremy is asking, I did not know EVs are considered as luxury cars in Ghana. Interesting. yes, Kofi. It's sad. If you ask anybody who is connected to the harbors and the customs, and they will tell you that is what is happening at the moment. We know they are doing something about it, but at the moment that is what it is. They are classified as luxury vehicles, so they attract a lot of duty or taxes, which is unfortunate. But I think gradually they are working on something, so very soon we will hear an announcement. Yes, Gina is watching all the way from UK. We have K Osea Jekuni watching. All these people are watching on Facebook. Do you have any other comments? All right, Big Boy Trev, so let's just jump back into the discussion. We are talking about the importance of quality fuels on modern cars, or cars and quality fuel. Big Boy Trev, are you there?
I'm here.
Good. Yes, so we are still talking about quality fuel and cars. You just gave us all the things that are going on in Kenya with EVs. Yes, and it's very, very, very good. We in Ghana are inspired, and we're going to do something about it. Yes.
Could you kindly repeat? I think you broke off for a second. I didn't get what you're saying.
Yes, I'm saying that we are inspired by all the developments in the EV sector that is going on in Kenya, and we in Ghana are taking roots. And I'm sure very soon we'll be hearing some announcements here in Ghana as well. Let us go back talking about quality fuels and cars. Yes. So we've given out all the tips and all the tricks. Yes, now it's left up to us to make sure that we fuel our cars with the right quality fuels. And if you can't control that, make sure you put in some additives to bring up the wrong level of the fuel, so that your engine will be protected from knocking and pinging and what else.
And even just clogging it from fuel system failure. There's quite a number of things it does if you don't maintain it and then use the right additives. So it's important to do that to take care of the lifetime of your engine.
Okay. I know some of our cars, most of our modern cars are direct injected engines, and way back we had port injection. Some of the high performance engines have both port injection and direct injection. What are their advantages and disadvantages?
So the advantages of having you can have both port injection and direct injection is the reason why the manufacturers began investing in direct injection is the fact that they found that the vehicle was 20% more efficient in terms of the fuel delivery, because fuel is not wasted, because the normal vehicles that have the standard electronic fuel injection, the fuel is distributed before the combustion chamber. But now when you're having the direct injection or port injection, the fuel is injected directly. So the injector is in the combustion chamber. So it minimizes loss of fuel, and number two, allows all the fuel to be combusted to make the car more efficient.
Okay.
So 20% better fuel efficiency, better combustion, 25%, and of course more power, because now the compression and the way they design the whole piston and the whole area, there's a greater surface area to ensure that the air and fuel mixture combust effectively. And remember, for direct injection, the ratio, we call it the stoichiometric ratio, the combustion ratio, lean. You can run the car quite lean. Okay, so when I say lean, you can have, for example, 12 parts of air for 1 part of fuel. If the mixture is rich, it's 10 parts of air to 1 part of fuel. So if you put direct injection, they use less fuel, and the car can run very lean, and that's good for city driving, meaning you'll also have 25% less emission.
Awesome information. Yes, unfortunately, the direct injected engines are the ones that usually suffer when the fuel is poor, with carbon deposits and soot and clogging and all that, right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Because now everything is happening in the combustion chamber, carbon deposits are high. They're very high, and that also affects the surfaces of the engine, and also affects the injector. So because everything is inside there, so the soot buildup will be on the injector, meaning it can clog the very minute holes that deliver fuel. And also, if it's a petrol engine, the spark plug can become fouled. I don't know if you've seen the older vehicles, when there's too much fuel in the engine, it fouls the tip of the spark plug and becomes foul, so it doesn't spark as required. So those are just the challenges. So what manufacturers have done, they've reduced the service intervals for changing the spark plugs, for example, from maybe 15,000 kilometers to about 8. So they've halved it, so that you're able to still have the high performance of the spark plug and the fuel.
I mean, I have experienced these things because my very first car was a 1988 Honda Civic with double carburetor. Yes, so I've experienced
mighty performance.
Yes, that was. I mean, that was great times. I missed that car dearly. You know, that was my uni days, and we used to drive around with my classmates in the car, you know, when we closed from lectures in the evening. It was awesome time. Yes, but of course, if you're driving a carbureted car and it has its own downsides, you know, talking about fouling of spark plugs and floated, you know, carburetors or flooded carburetors, and it's a bit of a wreck, you know. It was awesome times. You know, good. Any last words, you know, as we part ways this evening on this live, Big Boy Trev?
Yes, to the audiences, thank you so much for joining us on this great discussion. Please make sure you follow the Ryde channel on all platforms. There's amazing content that we are trying to collaborate together, and on all matters of Sub-Saharan Africa, Kenya, Ghana, and everywhere else where there's motoring. For fuel additives, please use the right additives as mentioned, as Eddie mentioned. Make sure you get the additive for your car. Check the quality, and make sure that if your vehicle is either smoking or the DPF is clogged, the products that Eddie has mentioned ones for your car. So make sure you use that. Use that occasionally to ensure that your engine is well maintained. It will give you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Big Boy Trev, and all you guys out there that are watching us this evening. I just want to say thank you, and it's been awesome time. Make sure you go to YouTube and look for CBB TV, and follow Big Boy Trev. Follow him also on all social media channels, and you get high quality motoring information. Like I always say, if you have information about cars, about motorcycles, about motoring in general, you are going to enjoy your motoring experience. You lack the knowledge, you're going to be sad. Cars, when they break down, they can make you sick, because apart from houses, cars are known to be the next highest investment that everyone makes, from time to time. So please let us note all these things that we've shared on the show today. Make sure you follow us on all the social media channels, so that the next live, you know what topics, so that if you have any questions, you can share them ahead. You have a WhatsApp line as well. Go to JLM, additives. Go to Autolube Ghana on Instagram, send them a DM, and they can give you all the information that you need, so that you can get. These are products that I use myself. I have a diesel car, and we have two petrol cars, and one is a turbo engine, and I've actually used these products several times, and that I can testify. These are very, very, very good products. When you use them in your car, you feel instant change in the way the car behaves, and it's awesome. Big Boy Trev, thank you so much. To all you that watch, I just want to say thank you. Make sure you go to our website, www.ridechannel.com. We have a lot of interesting articles about motoring shared on that particular website. Thank you, and bye for now.
Cheers, guys. Have a good week.
Right.